Hey guys, welcome to another week of WoW Weekly with Myst. I hope everyone is doing great. And I've got a new transmog today, of course. So I don't like quite the way the watering can is sitting, though. It's very upside down. I've never noticed that before because I've never used that transmog before. So yeah, I might actually put in a request for them to change that because it looks so stupid. Like, does it not, guys? It actually looks so fucking stupid that it sits like that. So I will show you all the pieces of this transmog. This transmog is inspired by today, which is a holiday. I believe it's a holiday for everyone, but it's different for everyone. Even over here in Canada, as Canada, like Canada as a whole, calls it Civic Monday, but Civic Monday is actually so many different things to all the different provinces in Canada. For example, for me, I live in Alberta, so it's Heritage Day. I think in BC, they just call it BC Day or something. But yeah, it's different all over the place. I would love to know if it was a holiday for you guys. I believe it's a holiday for everyone. At least Canada and US. I've always just heard US just call it August Long. But I don't know what August Long really is other than it being the first long weekend of the month. Yeah. Which I've always just considered a freebie holiday. Very fortunate over here that there's a holiday in every month. So there's always a day off that you don't have to work. If you work for companies that give you that off. And yeah, so with that said, like I said, in my province, it's Heritage Day. Heritage Day is, I'll put a little thing on screen for you guys, just to, in case you're curious. But Heritage Day is really cool. Basically, you go downtown and there's all these tents set up. And if I wasn't broke today, I'd probably actually leave the house. I know. Amazing, right? But I probably would actually leave the house to just go check out stuff because I always really enjoyed it. As an Italian myself who doesn't get the pleasure of living in Italy, I usually hit up the Italian place. I like to hit up the Ukrainian one too because, I buy pierogies and I even can home make pierogies, but it's not the same as coming from like a true Ukrainian, and they always have like the Polish sausage. And yeah, so there's a lot of really good food places over there, and all the tents are from like different places. So it doesn't stop there. I'm just giving you like, the places I usually hit up, but there's also like, a Scottish tent and like pretty much anything you can think of. It's Heritage Day, so it's meant to like cover all the different heritages. And yeah, it's very cool. I haven't been there in a whole lot of years. Yeah. And if I was a little more prepared for it, I'd probably go just to make like a recording out of it for, my personal channel that you guys probably don't know I have. All my channels are listed at the bottom of this channel's page. So if you're ever interested in the other stuff I do. But yeah, maybe next year I'll do up a video. But for now, you got pictures here. So that's what inspired this transmog. And we're going to have to be fast with this one because since I will be talking about the event very briefly, I thought, the event actually is good to go in 5 minutes. I thought we'd just quickly go do one in this video. An edited version, of course. I'm sure you guys don't want to sit there and watch me do the entire event in a YouTube video, but, maybe a stream you would want to watch that. But anyway, getting off track. We got 4 minutes now. Let's go over the transmog. So it's cooking themed. Oh yeah, I was gonna put, let's fix it up a bit. I'm gonna go into my pet tab and we're gonna put the hat on. Okay. There we go. Much better. How come it doesn't look like a chef's hat? Did I put the wrong hat on? Oh, it is the safari hat. Where's the chef hat? You know what? I don't got time, guys. I don't got time to look. It must be in my transmogs. But we are now down to 3 minutes. So, like, I don't got time. Safari hat will have to do. Okay, so we got the safari hat and the watering can here. And if I go like this and do that, I kept the rolling pin on because it suited us for the cooking thing. And then I like this outfit. I just can't put it together. Oh, the hat takes my glasses away. Oh, well. And I've been wanting to, let's do a close-up on this one. I have been wanting to use this back transmog for so long, but I haven't really been playing my alts, and my main is, you know, well, to be fair, I want to say the main is kind of like set, and she was completely set, but she's the character I do these news videos on, and we change our transmog every week now. So nothing ever stays the same on my character anymore. But I've been thinking of getting this transmog on an alt. The perfect character would probably be my panda, but she's in an excellent transmog right now that I've just loved since like 2012, basically. So yeah, I'm not sure what we're gonna do there, but I love it. It's got the eggs and frying pan, and yeah. And I love when they do transmogs that actually move. Like, they could have made this a still chicken. Like, yeah, I love that it moves and all that. So yeah, that is this week's transmogs, guys. Now we're just going to quickly go over the weekly events, and then we got to get our butt over to the event. So we have Trala Style that is still going on, and it will end on Thursday. Remix, of course, is still going on. That ends on August 19th. Dark Moon Fair is happening this week. This week is also Time Walking Legion, which I might actually do. I've got some stuff that I gotta do this week, but with the warbands and, you know, transmogs and all that, I've got a lot of stuff I can collect in the Time Walking now. You know, because I was just collecting leather before. And then the PvP Brawl is a Wrathy Blizzard. And for those wondering when the event that we're going to head over to right now ends, that is the 26th. So there was a little bit of mystery with that one because Blizzard was actually saying the 22nd because of the early release of the expansion. But they ultimately, you know, pushed it to the 26th for the real release. Yeah, so confusing when they, you know, when they do early release type stuff. Okay, let's go. So for anyone that's, you know, hasn't started the event and doesn't know how to get there, we're in Legion Dell. Go to the Chamber of the Guardian, and you are just gonna go over here. It automatically ports you to the bottom, and then you can just go, we can see the portals already. And when we get there, it will have a timer on it. Plus, we see everyone running because we're, you know, showing up right on the spot. So that was the last one, the 0 seconds. So if you see a timer going, and more specifically, if the timer is, I don't know, let's say less than 50 minutes, because it doesn't take long to do the event. So less than 50 minutes, then you're probably pretty hooped. was gonna say. But anyway, find the timer, find the right timer, the one that's an hour, and port in. And they've done a bunch of buffs to this event recently. So, so the first one I'm going to mention here is the quests. You can grab every single quest. I'm not sure why it's taken us a while to log in, but it's given me time to tell you guys things. Yeah, but anyway, you can take every single quest. So there's 3 portals. And each quest gets you 3,000 on completion.
I live to serve.
So that's this. This is also really good for the trading post. I was gonna show you guys the trading post stuff in today's video, but because I'm done the trading post, I'm gonna have that video up for you guys next. Not next as in today, but yeah. But these will knock out your trading post really easily doing this event. Okay, so you can see 3K residual memories there. And yeah, and you can do that on all 3 of them every day. So guaranteed 9,000 currency right off these quests. There's 1 in each portal. And then they've also increased the bosses. So the bosses used to drop 500. They drop 1,400 now.
Are these Azeroths?
So there's another mini boss. I'm not going to show you every mini boss though, so we'll cut it at this point. You've seen the first one. It's going to be the same loot each time. So mini bosses are giving 200 right now. 200 plus, I would say. And so yeah, you just do these events. You will also get memories, which are used to get your heirloom ring. I did a video on that. I made it a short video because like a literal YouTube short, not just a short video. So I'll link that here while you're watching me kill this guy. And that'll be the quick version of how to get your heirloom ring. That was the first thing I accomplished in this event. Since you see the green hills showing up now, for those that watched that video that I put out on the patch where I said I was eluding this is why. Yeah. So, yay for the warbands, because I have the room to collect them. I don't need them. It's, you know, for anyone that's maybe new to WoW or came in later and maybe doesn't know this exists, that was an achievement, the Green Hills. Can you still read them? Yeah. It's a little odd because they're gray, but they might have always been gray. I can't totally remember. But anyway, that's why I did it back in the day. It was an achievement to get every single page. So if you haven't done that achievement, this event, ironically, would be a really good way to do it, because I'm just gonna say those pages did not loot that fast originally. So yeah. Anyway, hi Stitches. Anyway, I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do at the beginning of all this, and we'll skip to the boss so you can see that loot. I just thought I'd add that little piece of info regarding the pages.
Fire Lord Ragnaros returns. Brace for battle.
Okay, boss time. The bosses still go down a little slowly. They're a little faster than before, but they're still pretty slow. So we're just gonna skip right to the end of this. So for this fight, as you saw, I just kind of showed off a couple of the things that you might get hit with. So, you know, definitely with this fire, make sure you're not in it. And then if you get it on you, pick it out. Yeah, like this guy, because his will... And then also, I would not even bother with the ads. Not unless you want, like, some extra currency. They've, you know, you might get, like, 1 currency off them. But they die with the boss, so, like, getting them out of the way does nothing for you, really. Okay, there we go. I got some awakened crests. And you can see there, residual memory is 1400. This is the reason that, you know, this is the reason I finished it so quickly. The minute they buffed that to 1400, yeah, the event got easy at that point. It was doable in a day. Yeah, which I guess I've got nothing against, because to be fair, I've got a Disney Dreamlight Star Path that I gotta go take care of this week. So yay. But I don't think they needed to buff it that much. That seemed kinda, yeah, this is gonna be another pre-patch event that I forget what we did next expansion. You know? There's very few pre-patch events remaining that lasted long enough and were left a big enough impact on me that I remember what they involved years later. Yeah.
As you wish.
Okay, there's our 3,000. Okay, so that is over. We can leave. So, yeah, that is why you won't see a WoW stream this week or ever again involving this pre-patch, because it's done. Like, yeah. There's nothing for me to do. Yeah. So, but I did sneak that first one in before they had buffed the currency. When bosses gave 500. Okay, guys, so as you can see here on screen, there is 2 Alliance and 3 Horde cloak appearances that are temporarily obtainable with the event, so you might want to make sure that you stay doing the event long enough to get those. And you do need to be below level 70, which makes sense. In the comments, people were kind of like upset about it, but it's a leveling gear. You know, recruits cape, yeah, that's a leveling gear. Makes sense that you gotta be under 70. And the only thing that wouldn't make sense is if it was specific, like only level 30s can get it, you know, but it's not like that. 69 and lower can get it. So yeah. Level 70s will obtain the Dalaran Defender pieces instead, and you can lock your experience. Personally, I would just go on the lowest character possible, and then you don't have to worry about it, right? It is nice that it says obtaining one version will teach you the transmog model for both factions. I do like that. That way I don't really have to bother hopping specifically over to anyone. So here's the recruit's sturdy cape. So they're showing us the Alliance and the Horde model there. And then we have the recruit sturdy cloak and the recruit sturdy drape. And then the last one is the recruit sturdy wrap. Also, there is this Alliance and Horde themed simple shield. Here's a bigger view of it. So there's the Alliance one and the Horde one. And then they also mentioned the simple offhand frill, which is a model that's returning back to the game. So this one drops off more Greyhoof, who is a vanilla WoW boss. The quest line was removed with the world revamp in Kata, which totally makes sense. A lot of things kind of got axed off there. But you still have the item to summon the boss. And yeah. I could see people making money off this one maybe, because you can't get the item anymore, but if you still have the item from back then, you can summon the boss and then other people could loot the item, right? So yeah, I see that being a big money thing, a big gold farming tactic if you played that far back, and more so because you don't just need to have played in vanilla, you need to have actually done that quest and gotten the item. So yeah. Okay, so that is basically all I got regarding the event. And I just have a few other pieces of news, hence why I threw the event in. So the Warband was disabled for the first week, but we do have it. It did show back, or it showed up where we could actually use it on Tuesday. So we have access to the Warband Bank. I still have only purchased one tab, the super cheap one, the 1,000. I didn't even purchase the 25,000. And I have the money for it. But until I feel a need for it, it's probably going to stay unpurchased. But it'll probably get purchased soon, because you guys know me and my inventory issues. A Warband Bank is only going to help us for probably... I give myself less than a year. I give myself less than a year, and I am going to need, more. Yeah. So aside from it being available now, the only real additional thing I have for you guys regarding the War Bank is that they removed the achievement. Maybe you didn't even notice there was an achievement. If you got to it late, which would have been easy to do if you weren't there the minute it went up, there was an achievement for spending the 3.1 million gold. And they removed it. There was 2 achievements that kind of went away. The learning to share is to buy your first tab in the bank. And then the so much sharing is to buy all 5. Now, I don't know why they got rid of the first one. You could at least let people have an achievement for, activating the war bank to begin with. Even the 5, you could have just made that a feat of strength. I get that they probably removed it because they didn't want people to feel like they have to spend 3 mil. For starters, you never have to do anything in this game. You can choose, even if you're a completionist, you can choose to wait. You don't have to complete everything right now. You could wait, or you could just, if you don't feel like you even need it, like, who cares, right? But I think they should at least kept it in as a feat of strength. I do believe that not everything needs to be tied to an achievement, but I also believe that you'd lose a big part of your player base if you didn't have things tied to achievements. It's the same thing with like transmogs and mount farming. Like, how much lower the player base would be if collecting wasn't a thing in this game? If this was like back in the vanilla days, it's so funny to think of it like that, right? Because back vanilla BC and Wrath were the best, but more so vanilla. No one really collected in vanilla. There wasn't enough shit in there, and no one really cared about it. And I feel like that is the vanilla player base, because even when I play classic WoW, which isn't too often, but when I do, no one cares about collecting over there. That is the mentality of the early game. So it's funny because people bitch about how the game has gotten worse, but the reality is the way the player base was back in the day would have never allowed the game to succeed in the way it has now. I don't know if that made sense to you guys, but like collecting, mount farming, toy farming, pet farming, achievements, you know, like that is what kept WoW going all these years. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how I got off topic there. I blame Warband Bank. Moving on. So, as you guys know, there's lots of bugs in the game, and sometimes it takes them a lot of years to fix bugs. I was just talking about a 10-year bug a couple of news videos ago, so a couple of weeks ago, that wasn't fixed. Actually, it might have been last week's video, actually, that I talked about it. But we do have one that finally got fixed after 10 years or so. I'll go on it, actually. So I've had mine for a long time. This is what happens when you're on an alt. It just sends you to Dal. I didn't get that on my main character. Yeah. That's hilarious. Okay, Warlord's Deathwheel. This is something I've had for years. You guys have seen me in streams riding around in it. It's definitely my horde mount. Anytime I'm on a horde character, this is the main mount I'm using. Okay, so this is, of course, the Warlord's Deathwheel. Now, basically, this is a mount that I joke around and say it may go on the trading post one day, but the chances of it are so unlikely. Now, let's talk a bug fix first, before I get too off track here. So, bug fix. So there were people back in 2014 that actually did earn this mount, but they didn't receive it, which I always feel bad for those people because, like, it's one thing to, like, not have been there, whatever, like, your loss. If you weren't there or you weren't playing the game back then, that's not our problem. You deserve to not have the mount. But for people that were there and didn't get it, that sucked. So, more specifically, if you actually did do what was, you know, supposed to be done. So basically how this mount worked back in the day, it's one of the most unique ways to get a mount. I would say it is the most unique thing they did. Now, one thing I will say is this bug helped people get this, but this is not the first time this has happened. 2 years ago, I remember there was a bunch of people that got this mount as well. It just went under the radar. Wowhead didn't report it, but I do follow news everywhere. Wowhead's the main source, but I do follow all over the place, so that's why you guys get these big news weeks from me. Now, the thing with this one is this was through a voting that was done through a show on TV, right? And so you voted Alliance or Horde. I totally had voted for the Deathwheel. I never used the Alliance one. I bought it. You can buy the Alliance one in the game for 100,000 gold. I'll put it on screen here. You just go to Stormwind. I'll throw a little mini map so you know where to go in case you need it. And yeah, you just pay 100,000 for that one. And then you would be handed the other one. So the biggest reason that they haven't really, like, put it in the shop or, you know, I think trading post, maybe they could, I don't know. But they were never able to actually sell it. You know, kind of like, you know, there was the materials charger. People, you know, some people didn't have, so they sold it and then people got it. But that was an impossibility for this mount because there was a legal issue going on with the Discovery Channel since it was from a show, right? A show initiated these two mounts. So, so they couldn't. They, like, it was a legal thing. They couldn't, kind of like the, you know, kind of like the Friday the 13th thing. Like, for those that don't know, Friday the 13th, you know, there was a legal battle going on, and because of that, no one could make a Friday the 13th movie, you know? And that's why we haven't seen one in a while. Same sort of deal. So a lot of people thought it was unfair that the Alliance got theirs, but the Horde didn't. It's because it was a contest, right? It was a competition, and it lasted a couple of months. It lasted from July 24th, 2014 to September 30th, 2014. So you had between that time frame to get it. Grats on your new mounts if you are one of the ones that didn't have it before and it did pop for you. Okay, so there it is. So qualified to receive the winning entry in the Azeroth's Choppers competition. So that is the achievement. I imagine you would still get the achievement. It just probably wouldn't be dated 2014. Everyone I know that was around for the mount actually got it, so I don't know anyone that was like that. Yeah, because like I said, there was stipulations, so you had to be like, you could have been playing back then, you could have even known about that competition, but still not done the things you needed to do to get the mount, right? So yeah. But yeah, just thought I would add that in for those of you that maybe didn't get this mount when you thought you should have. You know, log into the game if you haven't, and yeah, if it pops, then it pops. As far as people that didn't play back in 2014, you're not gonna get it. It would have only gone to people who Blizzard's like accidentally didn't give them the mount. Yeah. And yeah, all that shit would be in the system. So yeah, you're gonna have to wait for some legal stuff, honestly. Like, that's the unfortunate part. There might be a bit of a loophole with the trading post, maybe, because you're technically not asking for cash with the trading post, so they could possibly put it on the trading post. It really depends on those legal, like, I just know that they can't sell it because of the legal, you know, the legal stuff. You'd have to really get to the fine print.
Welcome to the final episode of Azeroth Choppers. After many weeks of building the bikes, today we're going to finally find out which is the winning chopper. First, I want to talk a little bit about this contest. At Blizzard, we all work very hard coming up with cool new things to put into World of Warcraft. Collaborating with Paul Jr. and his team has given us an opportunity to do just that. But it's also given us an opportunity to give our community a chance of deciding what goes into the game. And that's what we're here to do today. Before we reveal the votes, I'm going to have Sammy and Chris Metzen bring their teams up on stage.
Alliance, where you at? For the Horde! For the Alliance!
Okay.
Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
So let me introduce these guys to you. Of course, we have Sam Didier, Jason Hutchins, and Gary Plattner representing the Horde. We've got Chris Metzen, Taryn Gregory, and Monty Kroll representing the Alliance. All right, now before we get to the final votes, let me hear from you guys at Blizzard what you guys think. Who here thinks that the Alliance should win?
Alliance!
All right, who here thinks that the Horde should win? All right. So, Sammy, Chris, what was it like designing something for the physical world instead of like we normally do, designing something for our games?
I remember one time in an interview, a guy said, you know, the Warcraft art style is awesome, but, you know, that's not really going to work in real life. We got 3,000 pounds of metal here saying that it will.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, just amazing to see these things come together and just really embody the power of both the Alliance and the Horde. It's just amazing to see them come together.
All right. In a few minutes, we're going to find out how the world voted and see which of these choppers that you will get to ride in the new Warlords of Draenor expansion. This has been a truly global competition. We've had people view Azeroth choppers from 6 continents and over 160 countries around the world. All right, let's take a peek at our map and find out what the voting results were for Asia.
Come on. Let's hear it for Horde. Come on, Horde! Let's go, Alliance! Alliance! Let's go! Go! Yeah!
All right, looks like Horde is in the lead.
Asia!
All right, Chris and Sammy, why don't you join me down by the bikes? All right, before we reveal the choppers, let's have Paul Jr. bring his crew up on stage. So please welcome Paul Jr., Dan, Cody, Brendan, Joe, and Scratch and Dent Pete. So great to see you guys. Welcome to Blizzard. Thank you for the amazing work that you guys have done on these choppers. Let me ask you, Paul, what was it like working within the Warcraft universe to make these bikes?
You know, it was amazing. I got to be honest with you. The creative here is so intense, and I had so much to work with from a creative standpoint. The guys at Blizzard have been great. They really have infused World of Warcraft into our overall. And, you know, to do these tandemly, to have Horde and Alliance builds going on at the same time was absolutely one of the toughest things we've ever had to do, but also one of the most rewarding. And at the end of the day, all we wanted to do was bridge the gap between fantasy and reality, and I think we may have done that.
Bingo.
Yeah, you guys did some amazing work, and it was really fun for all of us to see how these bikes came together from scratch into what they are now. All right, so everybody ready to have a look at the bikes?
Yeah!
All right, let's take a look at the Horde bike.
Here we go! Let's hear it, Horde! Too many spikes! For the Horde!
All right, Alliance, let's see the bike.
Let's hear you, Alliance!
Wow, they both look really amazing. Okay, Blizzard, what do you think? Now that you've seen them in person, have you changed your mind? Who still thinks that the Alliance should win? And who here is for the Horde?
Come on!
All right, I think the Horde won over some people at Blizzard. Okay, let's get some more voting results up on our map. Let's take a look at Europe.
Come on, Horde Nation! Come on! Alliance! Rise! Bring it, Horde! Come on! Come on!
Oh, man. All right, it looks like the Horde is still in the lead. Sammy, Horde team, how are you guys feeling?
The world is showing the true power of the Horde!
All right, Chris, Alliance, are you guys getting nervous?
I think the Alliance is biding its time for an 11th hour comeback. Never give up.
Well, you never know. All right, we might need to hear these bikes in action. You guys want to hear the bikes? Okay, Cody, you want to get the Horde bike started?
Summon the thunder.
All right, Brendan, your turn. Let's hear that Alliance chopper scream.
For the Alliance!
All right, they both sound amazing. All right, before we move on to the final tally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Paul Jr. and his crew for the amazing work that they have done on these choppers. You guys really did an amazing job. Thank you to everyone out there in the World of Warcraft community for your support and for getting out there to vote. You guys are going to get to enjoy one of these choppers in the Warlords of Draenor expansion. Which one will it be? Let's take a look at the final tally.
Horde.
All right, Alliance, this is it.
Horde. 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 Horde.
On Alliance.
And the winner is Horde! The players have spoken.
Unbelievable.
The Horde chopper will be going into the Warlords of Draenor expansion. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you in Azeroth. Good job.
Okay, so editor Myst here, and I just thought I would add, since it's been a long time since I watched that. It was when the voting occurred back in 2014 was the last time I saw it. I'd just like to say the Alliance bike did look pretty damn good. Just the Horde bike looked better, and it was WoD. WoD was Horde based. Like, there's orcs all over the cover of WoD. Like, yeah, I feel like everyone knew that Alliance was not gonna win that. Even if their bike had been better, I still think the Horde would have won. Yeah. But I always thought that the Horde bike was the one that deserved to win anyway. But yeah, I just thought I'd add that in, that, you know, I would easily take both of those bikes, like, in the real world. Yeah. I would probably ride the Horde one all the time, and I would show off the Alliance one, because when it's polished up, that Alliance bike is very nice and shiny and looks beautiful. Man, I really don't like how that water can sits. But anywho, the last piece of news I got for you guys is this new Harmonious Salutations bear. Now, don't get too excited, guys. It is a China mount. Yeah. But I thought I would mention it anyway. So this is a promotion mount that will be in the War Within, and it's for returning China players. So they have two versions of it. Here's the red version and then the blue version, different flags. Hot take, but I'm gonna say it. I really don't understand why there's mounts that we can't get, but they can. And from my understanding, there's nothing that they can't get that we can. Like, it's very one-sided from my understanding. They can get every other mount. So really, you know, not that this really matters, but I'm just gonna say the number one person with the most mounts is always gonna be a Chinese player, because they get all these extra mounts that we can't. right? And that don't matter. I'm not like making that the point of this conversation, but what I am making the point is that it was just like last week or the week before that I had reported that Blizzard is already putting some stuff in place because they're prepping for bots because the Chinese are coming back to play the game. And it's like, you know, I'm just gonna say, you know, it's a hot take because it can come across that I don't like the Chinese, right? And that's not the case at all. It's just I don't think that they should be getting things that the rest of us don't, right? Everyone should be getting the same stuff in the game, especially the players that, you know, have been here the whole time, you know? Like, yeah. So, you know, on a plus side, it's an ugly bear. It looks like the wrath bear you get from that daily quest out in Storm Peaks, I believe it was. But you know, it's got a murloc on it. I like murlocs, you know. So that's just my honesty there, you know. It'd just be nice if we got something. So hopefully maybe that goes on like the trading post at some point. It's like, I guess I kind of get it. It's literally a Chinese flag. But you could just change the flag up, or we could just get the Chinese flag and it be like the symbol of when they came back into the game. Like, you know, like, I'm just saying, like, yeah, you know, maybe give us like, you know, an American and a Canadian flag. Put a flag on all the bears. Have it work that the game just detects where you're from, and then that's the flag you get. So for my goals and my accomplishments, well, I finished the pre-patch, so we're good there. I put out some videos for you guys, so I feel pretty confident that I did my job this week. And yeah, that's really the only goal I had this week for WoW. I thought the pre-patch was, well, the pre-patch is still going on. Pre-patch is technically till expansion, you know, releases. But I thought the pre-patch event would actually take a little longer, you know? I was hoping it wouldn't take all of the duration, but I didn't think it would be like they buffed the currency and then I'm all of a sudden done in a day, you know? Like, yeah. But I'm not going to complain too much about that because it does bring us to my goal that I have this week, and it's Disney. So every so often we swap the content out for Disney. This is the week that we're doing some Disney because the star path that I'm doing in there ends in a week. So I'm pretty close to being done though, so I'm pretty confident. It's not going to be a rush week at all. I'm actually anticipating I may even be able to throw some more WoW streams in the week. I might only need like a day or two for Disney. But right now I'm just committing to Disney. We'll of course have our Wednesday Mount Farm streams. But yeah, so that's my goals this week, just to get my star path done. And then I'm going to go back to Remix. Remix is pretty much done, but I decided I wanted those siege shoulders, so I'm gotta do more mythic siege. Or heroic, or normal. I guess it doesn't have to be mythic, but, you know. I gotta do siege. Yeah, so I get the currency. Okay, guys, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much going on in my life, thank God, because, you know, I've had so much going on. You know, I've told you guys in the past weekly news, but, you know, one week it was you know, dental stuff. finally. Finally, I had booked in there. And then the next week, the fridge had gone, so I had to buy a new fridge. And then the next week, had to get a new air... Well, actually, not even a new, but I had to get a portable air conditioner for the room. So, yeah. So now I'm back to, like, not spending money because I don't usually spend that much. So, yeah. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having fun in WoW. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.